probably seen us all over the racing world and doing a lot of racing designs for events and race teams, but we also do a lot of stuff from small boutiques in small cities all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. Your brand deserves to be seen. We print on more than just shirts, hats, jackets, bags, and much, much more. Custom corporate branding starts here.
Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Revved Sports Show, this time on a Thursday evening. I guess it's back-to-back Thursday show.
Cavalcade of days.
That's right. Showtime Bobby Chapter right here. The Iceman, Rodney Rodriguez. That's that man over there to your left. Hanging out, waiting on some Texas basketball, waiting on some guests. It's going to be a fun, quick little show, hopefully, today.
This, I think our tagline now should be, this show only airs on days that end in Y. You remember that song was that Clay Walker? Only on days that end in Y. I think that's who that was. Good old Clay Walker. Damn, I miss Coke Fest.
I know. I was telling somebody about that the other day.
I
said I got to see
down earlier and grabbed this koozie, and that's when I really
Clint Black and Cole Wetzel back-to-back days, or was it Cody Johnson and Cole Wetzel? I don't remember.
Man, those were good times, man. Those were good times. I know personally, I had to work my ass off for a couple of those, doing some Coke stuff. Coke FM stuff. But it was, man, those were great. God, man, out there in Hutto, sheesh. That was a good time, man. That was a good time.
I remember one time we did the Revved Up ATX show remotely hungover because we drank way too much on the Friday night show.
Yeah, I remember we had to go up there to Capitol Texas Highway and do that show in there. Man, I'm glad the elevator wasn't out that day. Holy shit! Can you imagine?
Even our producer Ty was like, "You boys look a little tired to start this show." We're like,
yeah. We come walking in, looked like Pigpen. You had the thing over you with all the whatever going on. Waiting on our lady Marianne Nauman's going to join us here in a little bit. She's on the road, and she was like, "I can pull over." I'm like, "Don't panic. Don't get yourself in a mess. Spring break. Just get there when you can get there, and we'll have a little conversation talking Cotton Bowl Speedway as they fire off this Saturday night. It's here, dude. It's time to get after it, man. It's starting now. We're starting to get into the regular stuff.
Yeah, well, we got after it last weekend. It was a fun-filled time. Great racing from our friends with the STEM series and the on-demand shirt STEM series. So they put on a well of a show. I think they had 22 one night and 25 the next of big mods. So I thought that was pretty good for a season opener, considering all the other tracks that were racing around them. You had Friday night had the Kennedale big bid mods with them. And then Friday, you also had Waco. And so that became a challenge. And then they got a few more on Saturday. But all in all, though, it didn't matter how many cars they got. They put on a well of a show. So our buddy Jared Moppin won Saturday. And show favorite Stephen Whitaker Jr. won on Friday night.
That's right. Also this weekend, starting in a little bit, I'm using all the devices today because over here we've got Rattler practice. It's going to be going on in just a little bit as they got a full deal going on over there. And did you see what happened? So Ricky's tires, the American Racer tires showed up, but they were like mini stock tires.
Oh boy,
the wrong tires. So it was a mad dash, and American Racer was trying to get all of those mounted still today before practice, but they got them all done. But it's never a dull moment, right? It's like no matter how much you prepare, something's going to go wrong.
Yeah, never a dull moment in racing. Clearly, it's definitely a challenge. No matter which side of the fence you sit on, whether you're the promoter side, the fan side, the announcer side, it's always a blast one way or the other.
Speaking of sides, and you mentioned Kennedale, man, goes without saying, inside the racetrack, man. What a rough weekend there. Billy Hurt, long time, race official and guy that gave a lot to the sport of racing. Just one of those incidents, man. You just never know when something can go wrong, and unfortunately, that was the case there with World of Outlaws on Saturday. And man, it's. We talk about keeping your head on a swivel and so forth and so on, but man, that doesn't happen very often. But it's just kind of one of those things to remember when you're at one of these places, man. This is a very dangerous sport that we're a part of.
It's dangerous on all sides. That's where we end up that's why we end up into prayer, prayer for the drivers, the fans, the officials, the crews, all that good stuff. So it, it goes without saying, you
Yeah.
always got to be self-aware. And sometimes, when it's your time, unfortunately.
Yeah. Jerry Myers, also another gentleman there that was injured. He's stable condition the last time that I checked, or the last time that I saw anything, but did lose Mr. Hurt there. So, and again, that's one of those jobs where I'm sure that Billy Hurt and these guys, that's probably not their daily job. That's probably not what puts food on the table and so forth. It's just the love of the sport. And this, and again, this wasn't the incident that happened at Kennedale on Saturday, but that's where a lot of these guys, when you guys and ladies, when you want to do stupid shit out there on the racetrack, you got people moving around out there. So be cognizant, I guess would be the word of that, right? Cognizant, that the word?
Cognizant, that's the big word of the day, I guess.
Big word of the day. Hey, look who's checking in right there. So the cord's long enough that this thing reaches all the way to McAllen, for crying out loud. Man, right, damn. It's a good reach.
South Texas realtor extraordinaire.
There it is right there. There it is right there. I'm not in that business, so I can say if you're looking to buy or sell, call her. She will deal with you, not me. I only dish out referrals these days.
Well,
that's all I dish out. Buddy called me today, actually wanting to go look at a house. And hey, you got time to go look at a house? I'm like, well, you want to get in my car and we'll just drive by and look at it, or what? What are you thinking? What do you have in mind? I could do that, I guess, right?
I mean, I don't know. Some people try not to use realtors, but they do.
Well, I do recommend that you should. I mean, you should. It's probably the best thing to do. But anyway, while we wait for Marianne, I just found this, Bobby, and I wanted to show you this. And I don't think we need to ask her about this, because Marianne. But so here's the Masters menu. I don't know if we looked at it last year. I have to take off my glasses. All these monitors in here, but there's not one that I can see. Look at these prices. And again, a lot of this stuff you won't find at a racetrack, but egg salad sandwich, pimento cheese, $1.50. $1.50. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty cheap.
Barbecue, $3. Again, this is at Augusta. This is in Georgia. I don't know where Georgia. I've never. So you tell me. You're a Georgia person. How's Georgia barbecue? Is it worth a shit?
Pork.
Oh, pork.
Carolina's a lot of pork.
Yeah. Chicken salad on brioche, whatever that is.
Brioche bun.
Oh, okay. $3.
Fancy bun.
Oh, okay. Coffee, $1.50. That's about what it's worth, right? I mean, that's what it should cost. Beer, $5. That's not bad. I guess it depends on what size it is.
Yeah, depends on the size, I guess.
Yeah, if it's like one of them little cups, that's where they trick you sometimes. Like where they do. I know Texas Stars one time I went up there and they were having dollar beer, and I'm like, holy shit! I mean, I Ubered over there. I'm like, woohoo! It's gonna be a good night.
Little bitty ones, little bitty 8-ounce cups.
Was about that big. I'm like, shit, what is that? And I still ended up buying the Big Daddies and going broke. So anyway. But yeah, there's your Masters menu. So that's maybe just an idea for racetracks if you want to.
A mini moon pie. That's big in the South.
Oh yeah, let's see what else is on there.
Chips, peanuts, mini moon pies, cookies, and Georgia pecan caramel popcorn.
Nice. That's all right. I don't know what would be. See, there's not like any nachos. There's none of that on there. Corn dogs, but I know that's. So what do you prefer? And again, we'll get to racing here in just a minute. I don't even know why I'm going down this road. As I told you, we got all this stuff going on. But so do you like, and this is just you as a fan, let's say you're not doing anything other than fanning. If you're going to go to the racetrack, would you rather eat out of a concession stand, like Sam Hill concessions and Radicke that used to do San Antonio and all of that? Would you rather do that, or would you rather eat out of a food truck?
Well, the last time I was at a racetrack, not including the Snowball Derby, which is a little different, I ended up eating out when I went to Rockingham last year. I ended up at a food truck in like the flea market area, like I like to go to with all the die-cast and shirts that aren't necessarily current and all that good stuff, the white tents. They had a food truck with an older couple And of all things on their menu, they had hot dogs, hamburgers, chili dogs, pulled pork, all that. The thing that I got that was the best, and it was probably some of the best I ever had, was a gigantic, thick ass fried bologna burger.
Bologna burger.
Yeah, it's about bologna was about that thick, about right at it, about 3/4 of an inch is thick.
They gave you
and
spam.
It was grilled to perfection.
They gave you some spam, my man.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good. My uncle got it all, like he got it like fully done, like a burger with pickles and mayo and lettuce and tomato. I was just kind of boring. I just did cheese. Cheese, bologna, and mustard.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have mayonnaise sitting in the hot sun.
Well, you certainly don't want all day. You don't want dried mayonnaise right here in your mouth.
Yeah,
that's not a good look.
Yeah, but it was fun. I mean, I'll be back. I'll be back out there 2 weeks out. 2 weeks from Tuesday, or last Tuesday.
Yeah. I know at the Derby, the Derby, what I always would have and will have, when I go back, is that big corn dog that they have.
Big corn dog, yeah.
And because it's like what I love about those is that they make them in the thing like cotton candy, so when you get them, it's not like a smooth.
They're not uniform. Yeah.
Every
one of them is different.
Yeah, it looks like something with herpes on it or something, because it's got all them dents and bubbles and shit, and that's the stuff I like. I mean, but those big old not herpes, but those big old corn dogs, man, with that mustard, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they ain't serving that at the Masters.
Yeah, no, at least not at the concession stand. At least not. Right. And Milton says no Frito pie. I know personally the Frito pie. I mean, I'm the Frito pie where I want it in the little Frito bag where they cut it and put all the shit inside. I like it that way. I won't turn down a Frito pie usually at all.
2 scoops of chili.
Yeah. That's the way I like my Frito pies, like that old school way.
Hey, I got a text from one of your good friends.
Oh God, which one?
Freckles says she's watching the show.
Oh, hey, Freckles. Hey, now there we go. I need to get to
I always give her grief if she watches. This time she actually turned on and watched instead of watch the replay.
Hey man, who wouldn't watch this program? I mean, this is must-see TV on a Thursday. You know what I mean? Who cares about basketball? Who cares about the Rattler? I mean, the Revved Up is on, man. We used to, there are people that set calendars and reminders when we tell them when it's coming on.
Yeah, when we used to be more of a set day, there was religious people that would listen and watch.
Days that end in Y. We still got it. Days that end in Y. Sunshine State 200 the other day. Did you watch that one? Oh, that was a Saturday afternoon. I don't think that idea worked out too well.
Yeah, it looked a little thin.
Yeah. It I mean,
well, on both sides, really. I mean,
yeah.
To be honest,
car count wasn't bad, but it I just think that's those races I just think are better at night and so forth.
Well, I don't know. It's kind of like the Rattler. Like, I didn't realize that. I mean, I talked to you jokingly about going. That's when I thought it was on Sunday. I didn't realize they moved it back to Saturday.
Yeah, it's a Saturday show now, and I think that again that was again by accident. You remember the whole thing with the Derby the Derby was 2:00 for the longest time, and then it kicked over, and that
when
happened.
You were there, they moved it up to 1, and it worked out great.
Talk about being hungover. Remember that was another hungover time.
God. Jeez, cars were roaring into turn 1, and we're sitting in turn 1. That hurt for about 50 laps.
Oh my God, I sweated for about a week after that. My ears were ringing so bad I didn't know what hit me. But I think that's how that worked out. And honestly, I think it's a good idea when you have a big show like that, because what that does, especially with the Saturday afternoon, is if something goes wrong, it gives you
run it on Sunday.
Yeah. And I think that was the initial idea with why that happened. And it has worked out well for them. But and I like what they're doing there at South Alabama. And if you have Race Monitor, you can actually go to Race Monitor right now, and the times are there. I saw qualifying earlier, or not qualifying. I saw practice times earlier, and they're starting to get all that put together. But it the Saturday at 6. I like that. That's kind of, so I guess they're going to start in the daytime and kind of race into the night. So that ought to be pretty cool. Maybe cool off a little bit.
Yeah, definitely be well, it make for a better race with the track changes and stuff like that. You might go from the penthouse to the outhouse or from the outhouse to the penthouse, depending on your setup and what you're shooting for. I mean, obviously
Mhm.
they all went to the woodshed last year with Atwell 249 at 250. So
Yeah, yeah. I talked with him yesterday, and a lot of the conversation was, obviously hoping to repeat, but it looked like from what I saw today, wasn't in the top five of supers at this point, and it's early on in practice. Wasn't in the top five in supers, but he is in the top five in pros. So the Davidson group is going up there loaded and ready to roll, and Bubba Pollard actually in the top five with the supers. So I think this is the race that kind of just this and anything at Mobile, it really seems like when you have Bubba Pollard that kind of comes limping in a little bit, maybe in a little bit of a slump, this seems to be the one that's able to like break him out of that. So don't be surprised if he's kissing that damn snake on Saturday night.
yeah, I don't know. Majeski's still got
Mhm.
a chip on his shoulder from the Derby, so I got a feeling he's going to be lights out.
Yeah, yeah, and there was a little bit of news that I saw that broke last night with Carson Brown winning again the Sunshine State 200 that we were talking about at Pensacola. Looks like Campy electing not to race at the Rattler.
Yeah.
So again, there's a lot of he said, she said, he said.
Ain't got no Wilson cars either, so that's
Yeah.
interesting.
No Wilson cars. I did see something on Facebook earlier where it was ASA Stars National wishing all their teams the best to Rattler 250. I'm like, who's left? There are plenty. There are plenty that are left, but not obviously two of the big ones there. Kyle Steckley second. Cole Butcher in that 44 car. That's a car, and it'll be I think Justin Mondike's in that car this weekend. So that car there for Bob Lyon. That's another one of those cars where you don't think about it sometimes, and then you look up and boom, there's that orange 44 car. That's going to be a mover right there because Butcher is one driving son of a gun.
Yeah, I think wasn't that the car that Matt Craig was in at the Derby? Wasn't he in
Yeah.
that one, the 44?
Yeah, that's a thing. All this moving around now, and I don't know. I haven't seen is Jet even. I haven't even seen any of the Jet cars. I don't know
I don't
what.
think so.
Yeah, what may be happening there with Pat Jet?
Because you would totally think that Caden would be there in a Jet car or a Cook car, anyway. One of the two.
Yeah.
Since
Jake
the truck
Garcia
race is on Friday. He could be
Yeah.
there. I guess he would miss practice, but he could have run the LCQ or something.
Yep. Now Christine is sending me things about Sabrina Carpenter. I'm on the air here. Come on now. She's trying to get me flustered here a little bit as we're having these conversations. Jake Garcia, Jade Avidizian, man, that lady right there. With all the other conversations that are had about female drivers and so forth, Miss Jade has had herself a pretty damn solid 2026.
Yeah, she's getting there. She had a lot of good publicity, or a lot of publicity in a good way, there for Speed Weeks, and I think she opened a lot of eyes that week. And I think she'll just do nothing but continue to develop and grow throughout this 2026 season. Obviously, a lot of pressure on her being in that Toyota pipeline. A lot of pressure being on her just being in the Donnie Wilson equipment, period. But so far, I mean, I think we'll find out the caliber of her driving and the caliber of her program when they start getting the tracks like Hickory and not New Smyrna, North Wilkesboro. You'll start seeing, the tracks with the high wear. You'll see a lot of that. That's where you get to see the elite teams become elite, is when you get to go races like that.
Yeah.
Although Hickory's getting a repave though.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the other thing too that I noticed the other day about Pensacola. Did you see that one picture I sent you where the one car had spun out or whatever the case was? And it was like pretty evident there. I wonder if at some point Pensacola's not going to have to cave and pave. How about that? Cave and pave, because I don't know if maybe it was just for whatever reason. That was on what was that on? That was on Track TV. So I was watching that on what was I watching that on? The Fire Stick, one of many subscriptions that I have, crying out loud. And so I was watching that on the Fire Stick, and for some reason the track just looked a little more beat up than I remember.
A little more weathered, I think, is the right word for it.
Yeah, and even like coming out of the corners, it kind of looked like the old like you look at the old pictures of Texas World Speedway when it was like in its really bad times, and it looked like water damage. But again, those Florida storms, and they've been through a lot of shit over there. So, and maybe it's just been that bad. Maybe it was just the angles, or maybe it's just the way the race was being produced. That it really. I mean, it's still raced well.
We know that some bitch holds water from the Derby with all the weepers and shit it had in there, waiting around for honestly, 5 hours to watch it rain, and then the weepers end up, taking 2.5, 3 hours to dry.
Honestly, Bobby, it looked like Corpus. I mean, I'm like, shit, what's going on over there? Which you think about that. I mean, I say cave and repave. I mean, hell, don't cave and repave, because it's just going to continue to give it the character of. I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do I know? I'm just observing, man. I'm just an adamant viewer of these kind of things.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting the way that. I mean, I don't think they'll pave anytime soon. I think you'll see them pave sections, like the patching, like they've had to do in turn 3 and turn 4.
Yeah.
But I also think that, at some point, sometimes we never thought Longhorn get repaved, and then it got repaved, and then they had to resurface the repaving because the repaving job wasn't worth a damn.
It's back to our toll road discussion right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That I know when Longhorn first got the repave in '96, man, that was great. Take a look right here. Back to our food conversation. Our man Magic Mike Knotts, long line for tacos. I'm assuming this dude's not in Germany this week.
No telling where he's at this week.
Got to be back over in the UNC, Universal City. Got to be where he's at. All right, let's go diving in. Enough food talk. Enough of how we would fix tracks. Let's talk to someone who actually. I mean, when you want to talk about doing different things at a track, I mean, there's been some major things going on at this racetrack. As they get fired up to roll on Saturday, this Saturday, March the 21st, it will be best cotton picking time you're going to find around here. It is Cotton Bowl Speedway. Miss Marianne Nauman, how you doing, friend?
Great. How about you guys?
Doing well. How's that traffic out there?
We're getting hungry. We're getting hungry because all the food talk.
I was coming in hot. I'll tell you, it's been a busy.
Oh, it's been so busy we lost her.
Yeah, I thought that was my signal for a minute, but I think I'm still plugged in.
Yeah, we'll wait, and when we see her pop back in, we'll get her back. But all right, let's do that. Oh, it's kind of frozen there. Right. Yeah, all right. Boy, we are flying today. Boom. It's getting back on. We'll just let you see how the inner workings work right here, to be able to get her back in. So we'll pull her down right there. So, I don't know why she's not coming down. Anyway, let's go back to the comments. So, tacos. Hey, there's Christine. Hey, Marianne. Yeah, you saw her. Now she's gone. But anyway, we'll get her back here in just a minute. Other part of that, Bobby, when we go to, oh man, I don't know how we're going to get that moved. She is frozen in there, but we'll continue on with that. So that's something that I'm looking forward to asking her is with the change that they made right there on the surface. And I know that there was a lot of conversation that was going on about that this past weekend there when they were doing the all right, I think we got her there. Doing the play day the other day. And let's see if she can actually hear us now. Marianne, you got us on the hotline? I don't think we do. All right. Well, we'll back her out of there. We'll back that out of there. I'll tell you what we'll do. While we're waiting for her, let's hear from On Demand Shirts and reset this entire graphic.
Precision, consistency. Just like in racing, these are our values in screen printing, embroidery, and everything in between. If it's branded, we can do it. Why is branded apparel so important for your company? Well, because a shirt or even a hat that has your brand on it gets worn to grocery stores, baseball games, or even family reunions. The impressions are endless and they last years. Contact us today so we can help elevate your. Why is branded apparel so important for your company? Well, because a shirt or even a hat that has your brand on it gets worn to grocery stores, baseball games, or even family reunions. The impressions are endless and they last years. Contact us today so we can help elevate your company.
All right, back. Let's try it again. How about that? I think we got that part figured out.
Yeah, well, good thing they happened today and not Saturday.
Yeah, there you go. All
Hey
right, here we go.
guys.
There she is. There is
Sorry
Mary
about
Ann
that.
Yeoman. You were coming in so hot, you burned up the internet cord, I think, on the way in here.
I probably burned up the roads getting here, so it's just crazy week, crazy week.
So let's before we talk about the racetrack, let's talk about the off season. Been a busy off season. You've had weddings, you've had all kinds of things going on, and I bet you looked up and it's like, holy shit, it's almost time for race season again.
It literally does not seem like it stopped, but of course that has a lot to do with bringing in the new dirt, kind of redoing the whole track, but just getting the facilities ready. This not just the race track, but the facilities too. So we literally have worked since November the 3rd, and I mean it's been nonstop. So, but it looks great. We're excited.
Absolutely.
Well, the good news is that the best thing that everybody said when Jesse and Colby were doing the interviews is everybody said the track threw them for a loop. And that's a good thing because that means the competition is going to be wide open on
It
Saturday.
is. It is. It was some great practicing, and we had 52 cars there on the track for 6 hours. We opened it at noon and we closed it at 6, and that was a lot of cars on the track, and we were super happy with the surface.
So, Marianne, with the change of the surface right there, and I think a lot of people, I honestly didn't know this until a few years back. I mean, when you talk about dirt, whether it's a dirt track, whether you talk about motocross, I actually learned this through motocross probably about 10 years ago, to where it's like they're telling me the differences in dirt. So, talk about from where you were, from what was originally there to what is there now. Is it a different would it be grade, different type? So is that part of what's going on, or is it just the new surface itself?
The dirt actually came from the same ranch that the original dirt came from, just from another area. So it had a little bit of a different texture to it that kind of threw us a little bit for a loop. But not me, but the guys. But I was watching a whole lot. But yeah, it. I got nervous quite frequently, like the first couple of months. But this was actually to make we were running out of dirt on the surface. It was like making the job a lot harder for prepping. So like a lot, like we would start the Sunday after a regular race night. We'd start for the race that was starting in 2 weeks, and we hope with the way things are, and we've been able to build the turns up a little bit more, and actually get some areas taken care of that were a little bit of a challenge from time to time. So we couldn't really do that when we were getting so low on the dirt. So hopefully this will be make the maintenance for the track a little bit better. So far, I've not seen that, but I hardly get to see my husband. But that's okay. He's working hard. He takes a lot of pride in what he does, and he's not a quitter. So anyway, it's been busy, but it's been great, and there are a lot of people to thank for making it happen too. So we couldn't have done it by ourselves financially, nor could we have done it by ourselves without the physical help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots of stuff. And I know that was a good conversation at the banquet when the curtain was pulled and they got a lot of the racers got to hear the real story, and a lot of them were kind of surprised of all the work and effort that it took to actually be able to pull it off and be back racing in 2026. So what's this? Is it a different week for you leading up to it versus just a normal week for a season opener? I mean, do you have to get more supplies because you hadn't got them all winter, or is it just about the same? What's it like between a week getting ready for opening season night versus getting ready for a regular race season night?
I think I would have to say this year it's a little bit easier because if H is working, I'm working, and it might not be on the racetrack. But so I've done a lot of off-season planning, preparing, some of the stuff that you do on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. Kind of got that stuff out of the way. We did some remodeling of the VIP area. We closed in the race control where it's quieter for them, but people can still see inside. So a lot of different activities were going on, and in that time you kind of go like, oh well, I need this, I need that. So I think I would have to say this is probably an easier week before the races started. But yeah, I think that, like I said, when he's working, I'm working, I'm figuring out something to do. So I'm feeling really good about it.
Well, there's always, the first night gremlins. I mean, no matter what.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, something. So
Yes,
anyway,
yes.
but you guys have done this long enough to know that part. Marianne, we talk a lot here. Cotton Bowl Speedway opening up this Saturday night, season opener, March 21st. You see it right there. The trucks will be in town as well, so expect a good fleet of them as well. We talk all the time on this show, and we'd love to kind of get your thoughts about it, to where we see some tracks, that struggle in different divisions or whatever, but Cotton Bowl Speedway, I mean, I don't know what numbers you guys want to hit, but in our opinion, I mean, you have the most loyal drivers and the most loyal team that shows up. Kind of talk about that part. You guys, there's never, I mean, I know compacts when they first started out were a little low, but hell, now there are so many of those. Talk about that. You've got the best damn bunch of drivers out there.
Really do. We have a lot of friends, a lot of people we've known before dirt, a lot of people we've met and learned to really like have a lot of good friendships through folks that have always been dirt. But I would just have to say we have some of the best drivers. I think they feel like it's their home track, and
Mhm.
if something's happening there, they're doing their best to get there. And we're not greedy. We are kind of those people, and maybe that's why we always are, you're struggling to get through it, but it's because we don't really go for the A, B, C, A mains and B mains and C mains and all of that. I like to see a good field of cars, 15, 18 cars, and I'm happy. So, and H is kind of the same way. So, to me, it makes it a little bit more personable. So, we're not ones to go for the big car counts. And although we've been blessed with it, I mean, how many people have 52 people at a practice day? It felt like a race day, and I know everyone wanted to get out there and test the dirt out, so that contributed to it as well. But it was such great camaraderie.
Mhm.
It got me really excited already for this Saturday night. So yeah, we really do have some faithful drivers. Now, do they get a little testy with us and mad at us? And I'm this kind of person. Most of the time, I can almost forget what takes place on a race night, and some of the folks can't do that, so I will forget that there were like words exchanged or opinions not the same direction, and I'll see them and I'll go, hey, how's it going? And they're looking at me like, what the hell? And I'm going because I just forget and go on, because I figure it's adrenaline and we're all in it, it's all going, so I just put it behind me and move on. But
There you
that
go.
does hurt my feelings more than anything, is when somebody ignores me when I've forgotten that they're really pissed at me.
Well, I know one thing from experience at Texana there over the course of Friday and Saturday of last week. I know I can't go, but I know one of the races that was already heavily talked about in the pits was the Stims race coming up on the 11th of April. I know
Yes,
there was some guys and girls that are really looking forward to that new dirt, and they were really excited about the
that's great.
possibility of slinging around those high banks up there. Talk about it when a big group like that comes in, and you get the opportunity to work with the touring series like James Cole, and you get Rachel back, and you get Nick Robbins back on premises again to help out Milton. Talk about working with a big group like that.
Well, I love it because when we had TSRS, we were the traveling series. So we know what it feels like to be a traveling series. We know, so I feel like we know how to work with them, and we like to premiere them, but we don't want to forget those guys and gals that are there every week, every time we have the gates open. But it is nice to have I'm loving what Stims is doing. James has been great. He's got a great team. So we're excited about them coming. We watched after practice, we all sat around and watched, the Texana, which is, our sister track here. So we enjoyed watching that. So yeah, we're looking forward to them coming, loving the car counts. And then again, 24, I'm real happy, but if they bring 50, I'll be real excited. But maybe. No. Yeah, I love working with the traveling series. I love working with the trucks, the dwarfs. I mean, every time they've all the series that we've chosen to have there, they are so respectful of the facilities and our team, and we work together as great teams. So yeah, it's a traveling series to me is exciting.
Marianne, talk about that part, because I have to tell you. So I had a friend, one of my radio buddies, that reached out to me before one of your last races last year, and he's like, "Hey, have you ever heard of Cotton Bowl Speedway?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course, yes, I know, yeah, I know all about it." And so he and I don't think I've told you this. He and another buddy went out there, this dude gets there and it's like, 9 o'clock on race night, and he calls me. I think he went to take a leak or something, and he calls me from the bathroom. He's like, "This is the most incredible thing that I have ever seen." He said, they jumped online. I said, "I forgot to tell you, you can take your cooler in there." He goes, "Oh no, we looked, we did, we brought
That's
it."
great.
And this dude was ecstatic
Oh, I
about
love that.
your place. Isn't that cool? That
I love
those new
that.
fans. Oh,
To
my
me,
God.
that's what it's all about.
Yeah. He and he was like, when's the next one? And I told him, well, probably in March or April. He's like, well, shit. So I have reached out to him. So
Oh, great.
anyway,
Thank you.
but, yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I had to tell you that. I've been
Oh,
meaning
I
to tell you that for a while.
love that. I mean, that to me, that's what it's all about. I mean, I love new fans. See them get excited because I know that they will no longer be new. They'll be coming,
Mhm.
every time the gates are open and they can be there. So I love that, and I love that we make a good impression, and that's what it's all about.
Well, and the other thing he said was, and it didn't cost a lot to get in. I'm like, well, I'm gonna tell her to raise the prices then.
That's great. Yeah, we like it to be affordable, and I think the cooler thing was probably one of the best things we've ever done, and I think it makes it where people can afford to bring their family and come out. We say you can bring a cooler for $10 with anything in it other than glass bottles. So if they want to put a sandwich or something in there, our concessionaires are great. They don't mind that at all. So I think that makes it affordable for folks. They bottle of water instead of paying $4 a bottle of water, they can bring a couple bottles of water. So yeah, I think it's one of the best things we ever did.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way Slitterbond does it. Bring in your
Oh,
cooler. Bring no glass bottles, of course,
that's great.
at the
Yeah.
water park. But but that's what is Slitterbond's main selling points is that you can bring in your coolers and make your sandwiches and stuff like that at the water park. So
Every once in a while, we get some folks in the pit area that get confused that they can bring their coolers in for $10.
No, they don't. They
No,
don't
it's
get
just the
confused.
grandstands, not the pit
Yeah.
area.
Marianne, they don't get confused. They
Never,
totally
never.
understand.
I mean, the look on their
understand that.
face when they have that beer in their hand, and we go, "You can't have that in here," and they're like, "What?" We got some moving parts moving around in here, and they do not. Pedestrians do not have the right of way.
That's we were
Yeah.
talking about what happened at Kennedale, and it's
Oh,
like
God bless them.
yeah, that's horrible. That's
Yeah.
horrible. So for you guys, the division's right there, and I mean it's everybody coming back. I mean, you've got, like we talked about, just a full docket of everybody with the touring series. You just a great mix of those coming in. Kind of talk about the season in general. Obviously, like you said, trucks, dwarfs, and
Well,
so forth.
So I missed your conversation on the Kennedale thing, and I would just like to say I think that it's very important that we all learn from this tragedy. And to me, the lesson here is to remember that we're involved in a very dangerous sport. But riding a motorcycle is dangerous. Riding your ATV at your house is dangerous. People just have to remember that. So we do this. We have this passion for a very dangerous sport, and sometimes we need to be reminded that it is dangerous. Like I said, pedestrians don't have the right of way, so it's like we do let fans come into the pit area. So, but with that, you have to be responsible. So I think it's just my heart just goes out to Kennedale. It did last week. It still does. Some of those guys, we know personally. So
Mhm.
our prayers go out to them. But I know they would want every track to continue doing what they're doing and to move right on because, like I said, we all know it's a dangerous sport. We do the best we can do to make it as safe as possible. And I think we're going to keep moving in that direction. And we've got a great season lined up. We have the Dwarf Nationals this year at the track. I'm excited about that.
Nice.
I could put a rev. I'd like to kind of tone those guys down just a tiny bit. When I think about Thunder Hill, when they used to come run there, now the way they run, they look like turtles back then. But
Oh, God.
those little guys get serious. So
I know.
yeah, and we got the trucks. I think we have the trucks 4 or 5 times. We're excited. Stems, I think 3, maybe 4 times. Then we got the wingless modifieds, which I thoroughly enjoyed having that series here last year, and so they're returning. And then of course the SUS sprints, and I'm trying to do all this from memory, but
Right.
we got a great season lined up.
Mhm.
I think the part that's crazy about all of the racing aspects, we talked about the drivers being loyal to Cotton Bowl, and the fans are very loyal too. You see the same people there, week in and week out and all that. But it was like we were talking about the simple economics, and we were talking to David Good from Waco last week about running every single week. And it's amazing to me that some tracks can do it and some tracks don't, because I think that I remember back, I guess, when San Antonio went every other week, we thought Terry was crazy, which he kind of was anyway. But
Yeah.
it opened up the door to start doing so much more stuff with other things. You got a chance to go to baseball games with family to watch the kids. So instead of disenfranchising yourself from racing, you got a chance to go with the baseball. You got a chance to go to weddings and different
Right.
birthday parties and stuff like that. So, I mean, has that, as long as you've been involved, I'm not calling you old, you've done every aspect of a racetrack, from hand out trophies to as a trophy queen to handing out trophies at a banquet, from being the promoter. What has the mindset better now, or was the mindset different back then, or is it social media messing everything up now?
Social media makes the job so much more hard. I mean, it's like for every action there is a reaction, but times that times 100, because everybody has a reaction, and some are trying to defend others' reactions. And so, I would say monitoring the social media to me has made promoting probably the hardest part. But back in Thunder Hill days when we were racing every Saturday night, and then I just finally looked at it and I said, it just doesn't make sense. People can't have a life outside of racing. So that's when we went to about every other, or even sometimes it was, every third weekend, and it seemed to really work well. And so when we came to Cotton Bowl, that's exactly what we wanted to do there too. So I think it makes that part of it makes it a lot easier. Bless Heart of Texas Heart every Saturday, every Friday night. I can't even imagine as hard as we work for every other, race to get prepared for. But I can't even imagine going back to that again. And I don't think that has anything to do with age. It's just like, there's so many activities that kids can get involved in these days that we didn't really have back in the Longhorn days. So the parents need to have time for that, because these kids they're pretty overly active themselves outside of racing. So it works good for us, if I kind of want to around the circle there. But yeah, so the every other works for us. To me, it makes it a little bit better for the families, the racing families.
Yeah, and you can certainly relate to this part. It's like every time that I run into an old racing friend, it's like, how did we do this every week?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
hey, Friday night for my dad, and then Saturday night on in San Antonio for him too. So it was like, and I was, I was in that truck going every time. So I don't even know how we did it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that happens a lot, to where it's like, yeah, 2 nights. Did it
Yes,
2 nights. It was.
Sometimes
yes,
3 nights if they run Corpus on a Sunday.
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah,
Yeah, if
yeah,
it was open, my dad was going.
yeah, yeah. Marianne, before we cut you loose, I do want to ask you. Speaking of Longhorn, and I found this out from you as I was driving back in from Phoenix last week. We lost, we lost another good one in Miss Lisa
Yeah.
Stewart Painter. Those days there, I would always tell people that you and Lisa were the ones that really ran Longhorn. I was like, those guys, they don't do anything. Those ladies are the ones.
Lisa
That
was she was a little bit ahead of her time. She knew how to fill those grandstands, and I learned a lot from Lisa. She was younger than me, but I learned a lot from her as far as the marketing part. As far as she took an empty grandstands, and she decided she was going to go after some big companies and offer them a night at the races. And before
Yep.
you knew it, she had and she was right. They would come back. They just
Yeah.
needed to know it was there. And so that was kind of her forte. She did a really great job at that, and I loved her as a sister-in-law for many years, and certainly will miss our conversations. We didn't get to see a lot of each other once she moved, but we did talk back and forth, and she was always such a faithful friend.
Oh, I remember sitting in those stands and hearing, Motorola night at the races, and
Yes, yeah, exactly.
it's like, what
I
what
thought
is
she was
this?
crazy. I was like, you can't give the tickets away. And it's like, if they come one time, they'll come back,
Yeah.
and that's so true with even today. If like your friend,
Yep.
you give them an opportunity to come out, and they see what we have to offer, and the racers are the ones that sell them on coming back, so it still works today.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's right. Most
Absolutely.
Thanks
expensive
for
seat.
remembering her.
Absolutely.
The
Yes.
most expensive seat at a racetrack is the empty one. That's
Oh,
what we've always heard.
absolutely.
That's the most expensive seat. Speaking of the good seats, tell us all. So we got everybody running. They got and the trucks. So what all is to be expected this weekend other than just wide open racing?
Well, it's draw redraw, so that's always exciting and very busy. I will say this: we're kind of excited about this, and we've worked out with Race On. So we have cameras now in our scale area, which is right outside of Tech. We have a camera there. We have a camera in our hot pit area, and then we already had a camera in the chute. So now at any given time, just say you're coming across the scales after your heat races, and how our beautiful trophy queens give out their trophies and stuff like that. We actually have that where Race On can go straight to there and zoom in. So a lot of activity goes on in that area. That's kind of where I'm usually at. And, a little butt chewing here and there and, finger pointing. And I'm going like, got to be careful because we might be live on Race On when you're coming through here and your adrenaline's still flowing. So we're kind of excited a few different areas that we've got a Race On zooming in throughout the night. So it should be fun.
Marianne, who'd have thought in those days of Speedorama that we'd have cameras everywhere and, not just Vicky up there recording on VHS.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, we've had the security camera there for a while, and I've had a few drivers, and actually, sometimes it's not the drivers; it's the crews or the dads or the moms, and they've gotten a little heated. And I pointed up to my security camera, and I had someone tell me one time, "You said this in a driver's meeting, or you said that, or H said this in a driver's meeting." And I was like, "Oh, really? Well, let me just check that out." And I zoom back in and go back to the drivers. Nope, we didn't say that. Sorry about that.
Awesome.
I love the cameras. It's really great.
It's great. It's good stuff. All right. Well, we're
It'll be
looking
fun.
forward to it.
I'll be there. I don't know what time I'm getting there, but I'll be there. So
That's okay. We got a seat for you.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what all's going on, but I'm in town. So
I thought you. Yes, right.
yeah.
I thought you said you would be.
Yeah. I may stumble in there.
I love it. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks,
As
guys.
always, thank you for taking the time. Good luck, and we'll do this again very soon. Want to help you guys as much as we can.
Hey, can I mention real quick?
You mention whatever you need.
Yeah, and I hope I don't forget anybody, but this whole dirt process could not have happened without NG Cotton. Obviously, Cotton Bowl Speedway is owned by NG, and I lease it from him. So it couldn't have happened without NG. And I mean, he got in there like nobody's business, and got this dirt loaded onto the trucks that Comanche Concrete made that possible. And then Smith Excavating had us a big piece of equipment. I don't know the names of all these equipment. I just know when they break down what they cost. Let's see. I hope I didn't forget anybody, and I'm sure I did. But we had Cody,
Mike
right?
Terry, yeah.
Mike
Terry was helping.
Mike Terry is Comanche, so MT
Okay.
Motorsports, yeah. So it's just a lot of people that just said, "Hey, we can't let this place close back down, and this is what the track needs," and they did it. Cody and Joel have followed H around all winter long, and some of the other crew, the team, have come out. If I start naming them, I'm going to leave them out. But a lot of the team came out when they could. 30 minutes and sometimes 3 and 4 hours. So we could not have done what we've done to get us to this point without all of these folks. So particularly those sponsors. So I hope I didn't forget anybody, but like I said, I'm trying to do this from memory. But anyway, thanks for letting me say that, because racetracks cannot do without these sponsors, and we have some great sponsors, and all racetracks cannot do without that. And one of the things I dislike about promoting is you got to go out and find those sponsors. And I am not that. I don't want to be that person, but I end up having to be that person just to keep the doors open. But couldn't do it without them, and couldn't do it without you guys.
No, that's what this is for. Yeah, this
That's
thing
right.
is open. This thing is open for you anytime. So just
Thank you.
keep us posted. Looking forward to Saturday. Looking forward to a great season, my friend.
Thanks
Good
for
luck.
the time. I appreciate your guys' support.
Talk to you soon.
Okay.
See you Saturday.
You bet.
Thanks.
There she goes. Another big season coming up at Cotton Bowl Speedway. There's your race poster. All of those regular divisions going to be on hand, along with the South Texas dirt trucks. And I have no reason to believe it's not going to be another successful season at Cotton Bowl Speedway, man.
I'm interested in that new dirt, man. That was
I know.
all the talk. That was even the talk down there with us, talking to some of the Stims guys. They were talking about, man, we don't know what to expect when we get to Cotton Bowl because of the fact they got that new dirt. I mean, then we got to see the trophy girls, Jesse and Colby Davis, during the interviews on social media. Like I said, everybody they talked to said that the track was throwing them for a loop. That's just a great thing. That means that it's going to be wide open on Saturday.
Yeah.
Cotton Bowl. It's going to be chaos, but chaos in a good way. You'll see comers and goers, and you'll find out the guys that know how to set up their car. There's no telling how soon it's going to dry slick off. It's got an opportunity to be a lot of fun racing on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm in a sense I'm glad that kind of looking at the roster of everybody that's going to be there. I'm glad that there's not like I guess the sport compacts are, but that not a little class like a dwarf class or anything like that, because I think that like for them that may cause a lot of problems on a brand new surface like that, because that's the thing when everything's big and heavy, and a sport compact is not 1,500 pounds. I mean that's a full size driver. So I think that you are, and I'm curious to see if it dry slicks, if it goes hammer down, or what exactly is going to happen there. But that's going to be the intriguing part about it, man. And those the limited modified sport mods, man, they
gonna get it.
Yeah, you're gonna see 3 and 4 wide big time, I think, on Saturday night there at CBS.
It's got a lot of chance to be a lot of fun. You can catch it all on Race On with our friends on Race On, so you get to hear the booming vocals of our buddy Mr. Milton Hope.
Oh hell, that's a reason to check in right there.
That's right.
That is a reason to check in right there, to check out the great Milton Hope, who will be on the call there at CBS.
I didn't even tell her. I even have a present for H. I'll show you when we get off the air what I found for H today.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, that's a good thing. I'm sure he'll appreciate that after the fact. He'll appreciate that after the fact. So great conversation right there. And like with a lot of these racetracks, you can get tickets in advance. RaceCBS.com. Jump on there, get that done, just roll up in there. And like she said, don't forget the other part about it. If you haven't been to that track, if you're catching Revved Up for the first time, that's over in Page, Texas. And take your own cooler in there. Just don't have any glass. No glass. It's like going to a NASCAR race, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
Actually, except for Rockingham, you can't take any alcohol beverages. You can take anything but alcohol and glass.
Well, they're not dumb. They're like, okay, that's a big ticket thing right there. So I guess I totally get that.
Yeah.
I totally get
There's
that.
a lot of upset people.
You
at
can
the gate
you
trying
can
to
at
get in.
CBS. Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
But I get it. I know why, but like I said, a lot of people weren't happy about that.
If you're in the North Texas region this weekend, you can also go to Lil Texas Motor Speedway and Power Eyes out there, as they've got I think it's a midget west and midwest, or I forget what it is. It's kind of a meeting of two different whatevers, and they'll be racing on Friday and Saturday, so that's out there. You also have here locally, I guess, in San Antonio, in Pleasanton, you have the Redneck Stress Relief.
Redneck Stress Relief.
Yeah, that'll be a good show, I think. Kind of wish they were. Cotton Bowl's sitting on a good date right there, because yeah, that's right, just Cotton Bowl, right, when it comes to actual not Redneck Stress Relief type event. But I think
now Race Ranch starts this weekend too.
Oh, Race Ranch does. The Race Ranch does. Yeah, we need to kind of dig in on that one a little bit and get some intel there. That is the National and the West Midget Leagues that are going to be at Little Texas Motor Speedway coming up this weekend. So you'll have that up north with Power Eyes. So plenty of action going on. And like we talked about, haven't seen any updates as of late, but with the Rattler 250. So all of that going on this weekend. So it's jam-packed, man.
It's here.
Yeah.
I calculated it up. I think I go to a racetrack 12 out of 13 weeks.
Ooh, that's too much.
Yeah, 12 out of 13 weeks at various racetracks between Edna, Coda, Rockingham, Texas Motor Speedway, and all the others in between. I think it's 12 out of 13 weeks to start the season.
Top 10 in the last practice over there at South Alabama, as you mentioned. 5-time champion Ty Majeski, top of the heap, ran 21 laps and clocked in best time 15.451.
That's getting it.
That's Tristan McKee was second in the orange number 5, 15.557. So Ty Majeski's got him covered pretty well. Brandon Lopez, Michael Hine, Colin Allman, who I talked about him on Dirty Air last night. Colin Allman's a dude that I think might have something to say before this is all said and done. 6, Jake Finch, Nick Noggle 7th, BP, Bubba Pollard 8th, Jesse Dutilli, and Stephen Nasse rounding out the top 10. So
Can't you see Stephen Nasse holding a rattlesnake? I don't know if I can see that.
oh God. Man, that turned into a wrestling match right there. And that's the other thing I was talking about last night. I think Nasse just likes to qualify mid-pack and towards the back of the pack just to put on a show.
Yeah.
Just to drive through the pack. I swear, if he was in the first couple of rows, I don't think he'd know how to react. I seriously don't. So big names in that one. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun this weekend. Lots of stuff to do. If you can't get there in person, find a streamer. They're all over the place this weekend. So
yes, sir. Absolutely. Checking out comments one last time. And here's a reminder from our man, Bruce Wright, the Lone Star Quarter Midgets, race 2 Texas Shootout. So I believe the Texas Shootout, I should know this because we talked to both of them. That is, I don't know where that is. Is that in Austin? I don't know. He'll have to tell us. But yeah, so the Lone Star Quarter Midgets will be getting after it as well. Last thing, truly the last thing. I do want to get your what do you think of IndyCar in Arlington?
what I got to watch, I didn't get to watch it all because I was obviously coming back from the track on Saturday. Didn't get to you don't get to it sounded good on Sirius XM, but you didn't get a chance to experience it.
Yeah.
Like you can for it's hard for them to describe everything that goes on a street course like they can on an oval track. So I didn't get to experience it. The highlights I got to see was pretty damn impressive. Lots and lots of people, a sellout. Yeah. They are, it was impressive. I hate that it wasn't a TMS, but at the same time, you got to appreciate what they're able to do around Jerry World.
Yeah, I think that it worked out well for IndyCar. I'm an advocate for IndyCar. I just wish that they could get their shit together, and it seems like they have. With the Fox investment and with the captain and everything that they're doing right there. I think they've hit on something. I mean, the viewership is like crazy good for them. Although I was right before we came on the show, I was looking at something where we're like 4 million. If you get 4 million for a NASCAR race, that's really good. I saw the World Baseball Classic the other night. They were up around 11 million for that Venezuela USA game. But I'm like, okay, those are numbers. Those are numbers. But man, IndyCar's onto something, and hopefully,
yeah. But what I'm more interested to see when they hit their break.
Yeah,
when they've done. I think they can run 5 out of 6 weeks in a row, back to back to back to back to back. It's when you're skipping a week, right there, kind of when you get to Indy, everybody concentrates on Indy. You don't really have a race. You have stuff on TV, FS2 practice, have some practice on FS1. You'll have some crossover with the Fox FS1 shows, but you're going to have a gap of about 6 weeks. Throw in the Grand Prix of Indy. They're on the road course in the center during the month of May, but they're going to have a gap, and I'm be interested to see how well the numbers hold up after their little bit of break.
They did a really good job, I think, on the back-to-backs with St. Pete and Phoenix, having the, kind of piggybacking with NASCAR, which that's what they were doing. I mean, they truly were. I could tell you, having been at Phoenix the Friday and Saturday there for IndyCar, there was a lot of, but that's, I kind of see that one different because Phoenix to me is one of the IndyCar places. Because if you go back and you look at the history of open wheel, champ car, kart, whatever you want to call it, that was always an Phoenix kind of thing there. And man, they are flying around that place.
That was the old flat configuration too, not this new one.
Yeah, exactly. So I would think that race will come back. But the fact there that you did have the back-to-backs and then boom, there's your standalone race. And then in that market and look, man, I talk about it all the time. I've got so much of their shit in this studio. You get Jerry Jones involved and you get Jerry Jones marketing and Charlotte Jones and all these different people. You get them. It's going to have a lot of power. And in a place like Dallas, anything that has the stamp of Jerry Jones or the Cowboys, like them or not, they're going to buy in. And the media there was just outrageous.
The media coverage was crazy,
man. And it was, and I think it was all throughout Fox, because I know our friends at Fox 7 were all over this. And it's, I mean, even moving the race up, I honestly think moving the race up helped them, probably. But Yeah, and now I think they're getting a little wise that I did see that with the Fox part of it now, that maybe they're talking about stretching stuff out a little bit for IndyCar to maybe kind of be a prelude for some NFL stuff. You start doing that, you start preluding NASCAR or after or NFL. I'm sorry, NFL. You start doing stuff before or after NFL, you're gonna blow NASCAR out of the water. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
if NFL's a lead in, if it's a good game, they're going to stay and watch the IndyCar race.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you've got, one of those games at noon or 12:15, and then you don't have the second game, shit. You pop an IndyCar race on there?
Move St. Louis to the Sunday night after an NFL game. Record
Absolutely.
ratings right there.
Absolutely. And you've got NASCAR over on the Peacock or on Prime. Shit. IndyCar will beat them and beat them good.
I just wish we lived in a world where the 500 and the 600 were on the same day. We're on the same network on the same day, rather.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to the Amazon Prime coverage. It was good last year. They're not making too many changes, so it should be about the same this year.
Yeah, I think so. I think that they will do a really good job, and people beating up on Fox. Yeah, I get it. But
it's better, but it's still stale.
It is.
It might be. I love Mike Joy and his enthusiasm and all that, but it might be time.
Yeah, because
you need to get rid of the grid walk. That's for sure.
Oh God, yeah, because IndyCar is very enthusiastic and very energetic, but I mean, CW's got them all right now. CW is where it's at, and well, I can't talk about that, but it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. All right, great program, great conversation with Marianne Nauman, man. That's really cool to get that going again. RaceCBS.com, full card of action happening on Saturday, and again, like Bobby said, if you can't get there, whatever, ideally get to a racetrack if you can. But if you can't, find a streamer and check out the action and say good things about the racetrack. Like she said there, juggling social media. Don't make those folks have to juggle social media week after week.
Yeah, right. It's a damn shame when they got to do that.
Yep, absolutely. All right, friends, we'll do it again next week. Date TBD. What is maybe earlier in the week? I'll get with you on that. I've got a Dallas trip, I think on Thursday. But that's right up the road. That's nothing. But anyway, we'll figure it out. All right, friends, thank you for being a part of the program. Hope your brackets aren't busted too bad. And we'll check back in with you. Catch some racing this weekend. Showtime, Bobby Chaffee, Rodney Rodriguez. It is the Revved Up Sports Show. Have a great weekend, friends, and be well.